Hello everyone, Lawrence Fleming here. Last night was a great time. We had a live broadcast. It lasted for just a tad over an hour. Got to watch your comments scroll by. I enjoy that, so I'm going to try to do another one maybe next week. What I want to do is wait until I have my laptop handy, because I can't do a split screen on my phone. So I can't have the comments on right and talk on the left. So I'm going to have to wait till I get that power down in my next site. All right, we're still here. I hope you guys didn't leave without me anyway. And I'm going to have a drink here. It's kind of gotten dry today. So we have to still keep waiting. Again, I keep telling you, there's nothing we can do. We know no way to tell. Paul, one of the greatest ones of our ancestors to deal with God, he didn't know. So I don't think we're going to figure it out. All the stuff was written by prophets, and they've been kind of scarce lately. So unfortunately, the interpretation either needs to be a prophet or the Spirit of God himself has to interpret it. So we're not going to know. So just keep praying, stay vigilant, keep running the race. We're not done yet. It could end today, but it could end any day. And while we sit here, the world is still marching to the edge of the cliff. Every time you turn the news on, something else is coming up. Like I said last night, and I'm not going to talk too much about politics. I got a couple of warnings. They kind of went away, but I kind of went over the line a little bit, I think, in my talk, because they had warnings on my video last night. They're gone now, but they were there initially until somebody had to review them. I guess I'm not that bad. So I'm not going to talk about politics other than to tell you my definition of politics. And this will explain everything. I like languages. Poly is Latin for many. Ticks, blood-sucking insects. That's my definition. And I'm standing by it. Doesn't matter which party. Okay, enough of that. We still got, potential things coming up from our government to try to restrict us. Fauci's getting some kickback money that we found out about. It's just, let them do whatever they want to do. We don't really have any control. If we were to, I keep going off into politics, I can't help it. If we were to elect a president who is totally in our favor, he couldn't fix it. If we had the president and Congress, they couldn't fix it. So just let them do what they're going to do. Just ignore it. God knows about it. They're taking, the whole world is going down the tubes. It's a plan. It's designed by people who have the greatest mind in the world helping them. In the world, not the universe, in the world. Satan is helping them. They can't go wrong. Everything they do is going to turn out in the favor of what they plan. So keep helping people. It's going to get tougher for people along the way, so you want to be there to help. Any way you can. Honestly, help. Don't break the law. We don't need to do that. There's no need for that. But if you've got extra and you see somebody in need, give it to them. And while you're there, talk to them about the Lord. And there's a quick way you can figure out when you're dealing with someone at a supermarket or wherever you're at. If they say, "Have a blessed day," there's an indication that you could probably talk to them the next time you see them. You can't disrupt their work very long, That would get him in trouble. But you can say a few things here and there, and, do you have a break coming up? I could buy you a cup of coffee, whatever you want to do. Find ways. I know a number of pastors in their morning prayer started off with, God, bring someone to me that I can help in whatever they need, in anything that I can, supply. If they need $1 million, I haven't got it, so that I don't send them to me. If they need some sage advice, I have a lot of it. May not be what they want, but I can give it to them. All right, we just need to continue looking forward. What's God going to do? How's God going to take care of us? Let's take a look at, in the past, how God takes care of people. We're looking at Ezekiel 34, verse 11. He's talking to Ezekiel, who is a priest and a prophet. For thus saith the Lord God, indeed I myself will search for my sheep and seek them out, as a shepherd seeks out his flock on the day he is among his scattered sheep. So will I seek out my sheep and deliver them from all the places where they are scattered on a cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the peoples and gather them from the countries and bring them to their own land. I will feed them on the mountains of Israel. Sounds like a good shepherd. I will feed them on the mountains of Israel, in the valleys and in all inhabited places of the country. I will feed them in good pasture, and their fold shall be in high mountains of Israel. There they shall lie down in a good fold, and feed in a rich pasture on the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, I will make them lie down, says the Lord God. I will seek what was lost and bring back what was driven away. Bind up the broken and strengthen what was sick. So he's been doing that. He's been bringing his people back to Israel. Now, the Old Testament is all written about the Jewish people, about the children of God, the descendants of Abraham. We call them Jews because of Judah. When they split into two countries, essentially, Judah and Israel, we associate the name Judah with Jew, so that's where we get that from. It's not complete, but it's what everybody uses today. And then we know what's coming, and we're going to look at Revelation 21. Now I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. Also there was no more sea. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell among them, and they shall be his people. Looking forward to that. God himself will be with them and be their God, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away. I think that's something beautiful that we can look forward to once we're done with all this stuff. God has his prophecies that he has to see carried out. And they're going to be carried out. He's already been to the end. He's the Alpha and the Omega. We'll say that a little bit further down the reading if I go further. Nothing is a surprise. So when things are falling apart like this isn't God doing it. It's God taking his hands off, saying, you guys don't want me? Fine. This is what a world will be like without me. And we're here for a little longer. But it's getting bad, but we're not there yet. We have a long way to go before we're going to be in a bad situation. And bad for the world in general and all the things that are going on. We know what the final judgments are. But we have to be wary that we don't get caught up in the world so we miss God when He's protecting us. He's very accurate when He's taking out our enemies. But if we're standing in amongst them, He may say, well, if that's where you want to be, I'm just going to leave you there and go help somebody who really wants it. Okay. We keep watching for the rapture. All the talk about the days and all that stuff that we're going to know and everything, that's the second coming. It's got nothing to do with the rapture. The rapture is only told that we're going to have one, but we don't know when. But be logical about it. Why would He snatch us away? He snatches us away for something that is imminent. What it is, I don't know. It has to involve Satan. It has to involve him, because if it involved the world or we knew about it, or if something eventful was going to happen, why would we be snatched away from it? We'd be pulled away the day before. We're being pulled away for our safety in an immediate situation. And the fact that we don't know anything about it means He doesn't want Satan to know. So it's got to involve Satan. It's logical. God is logical. He's also love, so that's why He's doing it. Well, this is going to be a little shorter one today because I'm tired from last night. Not from the video. I enjoyed that. But I got back to my campsite about 9 on a Saturday night, and that's when the world moved in. Every campsite was full, plenty of adult beverages going down, lots of yelling. I put in my earbuds and watched a movie. But that wasn't long enough. 2.5 hours later, they were still at it. They were at it till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. It's only on Saturdays. I wish I had someplace else to hide. Maybe a cave. No, I don't like caves. I'm hoping my next site will be a little bit quieter. It's not a site that people go to normally. It's the opening basically to the Okefenokee Swamps. And that's a funny name. And every time I say there's a funny name, it's an Indian name. I don't remember what it means. But you could look it up. Okefenokee Swamp. And it's a lake that kind of meanders around through brush and everything. I don't think you could fish it. Maybe you can, I don't know. You may have to fight the alligator for it if you caught something. So I don't think there's any fishing. I don't know. We never went down there to fish. We'd take about 20, 25 scouts down there on different vehicles. I hope I have cell signal, but I do have my booster. If there's any signal at all, I can pick it up and use it. There may even be Wi-Fi like here. This is one of those RV park things where they kind of meander out and tee off of the road. I'm at the end, so hopefully I won't have noise on one side. We'll have to see how close we are to the alligators. There is a primitive area, and that's not where we normally camp. But I didn't want to get in there this time because I wanted electricity. It costs a little bit more, but not a lot. So I'll be going down there sometime tomorrow. I don't even know what time the check-in is, but it's a 4 or 5 hour drive from here. So I won't get there before noon, I guarantee it. Noon or 1 is normal check-in for these places. And I'll try to include some video. I probably won't do a whole lot of walking. There are places you can walk. There's a couple of islands that you can walk, not very far, but they're away from the main population of alligators. And there's one spot you can take a boat to. I don't know if I'm going to try to do all that. That seems awfully ambitious for me at this stage. My feet are sore from my 4-mile hike yesterday. I made it, and I wasn't out of breath for very long. A couple of the hills I had to climb, but the rest of it was okay. But my knee is still telling me that I did a little too much, so I got to be careful. All right, we're still here. Don't be disappointed. If you're in pain, if you're still suffering and you're hoping that this is going to end it, don't rely on that. Rely on God. God can help you to either heal your situation or to help you to endure it. We never know why we suffer. Sometimes we suffer because we wandered off, and that's the thump on the head that we need. Sometimes we suffer because it helps to build us. We have to be tempered. Gold is purified in fire. And sometimes we suffer just to see if we're asked God for help, and then He helps us. But if you're going to ask for help, believe. If you believe 100% that when you ask Him for help, that He's going to help you, you will be cured. He answers everything. Sometimes He answers no, but He's a loving Father, so He's not going to let us suffer needlessly. Paul had to go with his thorn in the side. We don't know what it was. He asked God to remove it, and God said, no, my grace is sufficient. He left the thorn in his side because it's possible Paul would have become too arrogant with his power. Power corrupts. But the thorn in the side kept him humble. So there's a purpose. It's not because we're bad people. Don't ever think that about yourself. If we're suffering, there's a reason for it. Maybe so we can help somebody who has the same problem. Okay. Blessings to you. I'm going to wrap this up. Contact you. Well, this will go out in the morning, so I'll be packing and leaving. So the next video will be from the new location. Pray for travel mercies, whether I go to a cloud or I go to the swamp, either one. God bless.